Hello, viewers. Kubiondo, Kith and Kin. I'm SB, and welcome back to I Was a Teenage Exocolonist, where it is still Vertumna, but in many ways, it is a whole new world out here, huh? Things have gotten very weird. Let's say howdy to Dis. Dis, what's going on? You and Dis are sitting on the tailgate of one of the expedition's vehicles, shelling bobber seeds with your teeth and spitting the hard bits on the ground. Now and then, one of you points out something funny a passing surveyor does, or spots something under the mush trees. This is the easiest way to talk to Dis, by not talking at all. Yeah, we had figured that out. Dis has always been like this. Being isolated from the other kids has made him thoughtful. Out of everyone, you think Dis might understand about Sim, and be able to keep the secret. Do you tell him? Yeah, I trust him. And also, I think he would care a great deal about this. This is kind of his whole deal. You tell Dis that you saw something interesting when you were out on an expedition. Dis perks up immediately, turning to look at you. Yeah? He asks. What? I met an alien, Dis. His jaw drops, and his face goes an interesting color. You're worried for a moment that he's going to be upset with you for teasing him, but... No way, Dis hisses, leaning in. But I met an alien too, Samhain. What was yours like? That actually makes a ton of sense, right? Like, everything I've done that makes me interesting to the alien, Dis is also doing. Well, like us, but an alien? You describe Sim, his long dark hair, his big eyes, his faintly purple skin, the way he never seems to answer any of your questions. Dis stares at your face. Wait, you met Sim too? You nod, and Dis's hands fly to his hair. Well, he said he met another human girl, but he didn't say who it was. It was you this whole time. He made me swear I wouldn't tell anyone else, Dis says earnestly. It's a weird expression on him. He said if other humans find out about the gardeners, we'd all be in a lot of danger. So, we can talk about Sim, but we have to keep it a secret. Yeah, okay, this will be our secret. I agree that it's definitely not a good idea for any of the heliopause people to find out that there are other alien, people. Okay, yeah, our secret. Dis nods, looking serious. Good, he says simply, then repeats it. Good. You go back to shelling bobber seeds in silence, watching the colony go about its business. And that's where the interaction ends. Wild. Dis stands at the mouth of his drainage sewer hideout, his arms crossed as he studies it from the outside. Do you think they got in this way? He asks quietly. There's a grate farther in. I haven't gone in there to check yet. Okay, weird. Yeah, we're definitely not telling anybody else. Okay, nothing else to say to Nem. Oh, you know what? We had probably... Yeah, whatever. We're fine. We're good. We had done the toughness 40 thing with her and then lost toughness to under 40, I think. So when I gained back up to 40, I thought it was going to be more significant than it was. Tangent is about to duck back into engineering when you approach. She winces and shields her eyes from the sun. She looks at you miserably, and you notice that her right eye is glowing faintly. It's my new hollow eye implant, Tange says. Its ghostly glow snaps in and out of existence as she blinks. I seem to be experiencing some unpleasant side effects from it, similar to that of an ocular migraine, Tange confesses. Instance warned me that this level of visual information can be difficult for the human brain to comprehend at first. You agree to follow her into engineering to get out of the sun. It's similar to a hollow palm, she explains, still holding her forehead and squinting, but with an infinitely large screen because it projects directly onto the oculus. It used to belong to Dr. Instance, but she passed it down to me to help with my work. Well, I'm sure you'll get used to it soon. Should I don't... She's not going to want to take it out. I'm sure you'll get used to it soon. Tange sets her jaw and nods, determined. I know I will. It's only pain. Man, Tangent is goddamn impressive. It's more than an implant, Tange continues as you follow her to the medbay labs. Hollow eyes are on the very forefront of human augmentation. They represent our next steps toward ascending as a species. She touches the red scar where her hollow palm used to be. No more clunky screens, no privacy concerns, she says quietly. Elegant integrated design. It observes the motion of my hands and uses it to generate an AR interface for my entire field of vision. It's partly powered by my own metabolism through the magnets embedded in my skull. It's beautiful. So it sounds like going back is not really even maybe an option for her. Nobody else is here. You hear the gentle hum of experiments running in the corner. This kind of technology is so far beyond what we're capable of reproducing in the colony. Tange sighs, rubbing her temple under the implant. Once they're gone, they're gone. Maybe Earth will send us a shipment of new ones someday, but I expect they've developed something more advanced since we left Earth. I suppose it's more likely they've forgotten about us completely. That doesn't seem that likely. There's an alarm going off in the laboratory. The quiet hum of the laboratory is shattered by an alarm. Tange jumps at the sudden noise and shuts her eyes tight. I have to get this, she mutters, gesturing in the air to silence the ringing. The simulation I'm running is time-sensitive, she explains. The specimens require minute changes to their environment every 2 hours. Temperature, humidity, light levels. She grimaces. If we had better automation, this wouldn't be a problem. So I can't help with her migraine because I don't have enough empathy or reasoning. But I can help with her experiment so she doesn't have to deal with it. I could do it. Tangent considers this. Yes, you have proven yourself trustworthy in the lab, she says. It's experiment 2A on the wall there. She slumps down on the floor beside you, resting her head on her arms. Go tell me what you see and I'll walk you through it. With Tange's assistance, you set the new environmental parameters for her experiment, which seems to involve fungal growths of some kind. It's unfamiliar to you, but you're able to follow her instructions easily. While you're looking over some of the specimens, you realize that you could make improvements to Tange's modeling. I think she would appreciate it, or at least be interested. I think as long as we actually do it right, I think that she would like this. I'm going to do it. We're going to see if she yells at me. No, okay, I read that right. You make the changes and log them diligently in the computer. Tange breathes a sigh of relief when you return, unaware of your meddling. Okay, we'll see. For now. That should buy me 2 more hours, she says. Tange shifts over, wordlessly inviting you to sit down beside her. Her arm is cool to the touch as it rests against yours. Tange turns to you. Thank you for your assistance. Okay, so she didn't like the "you're more beautiful than any flower" thing. She doesn't like the corny pickup line. But I do think that, there is something between these characters. There's something in the way they deal with each other. And, in particular, I think this has been a dynamic over and over again, right? Where Tangent pushes herself super hard. She's not really thinking about her own comfort and her own well-being. And then we catch her going over and we help her find a place to sleep, or there's an expression of caring there that you could read in a couple of different ways, but we have the opportunity here to try to make it more romantic. And I think I'm going to take that. I want to see if this leads somewhere. Tange, let me take care of you. Tange gives you a slight smile, barely visible in the faint glow of her hollow eye. People always tell me I should take better care of myself, she says. And they're right, because when other people try to take care of me, they usually get it wrong. Only I know what I need. But you helped, Tange says. Thank you. Please don't tell Instance that my body's adjusting poorly to the hollow eye, she adds. It's only temporary. This stupid flesh prison is not allowed to draw the limits of my form. Yeah, I knew that was how she was going to feel about that. That was pretty obvious. Did we give you a gift already? Yes, I did. This is how I found out he likes the bomber fruits, right? You spot Cal sitting in the dirt, picking sullenly at the grass. He's weaving it together into a bracelet. Sometimes it helps if I'm doing something with my hands, he says quietly. If I start to feel scared or upset, I just take a deep breath and try to reconnect with the planet. Yeah, so I think we are going to go do at least 1 month of geoponics because we have important research to do on this radioactive flower, and the enlightened bonus fits really well with it. Your mom and dad are taking a midday break in the shade of a trellis and wave you over as you approach. Samhain, come here, your dad says, pulling up a crate with his foot and patting the top invitingly. Come spend some time with your old mom and pop. How's your day been? Alright, I guess. What is extrasolarly spectacular? That's not even the way you would... it should be an A. It doesn't matter. It's not a word. Our fearless explorer, your mom drawls, taking a swig from her canteen. She wipes her mouth at the back of her hand and passes the canteen back to your dad. Made friends with any alien life forms yet? Your face goes on a journey. Friends with any... What? Do they know about Sim? How could they? No, they don't. They definitely don't. Your parents chuckle at your expression. Wow, Samhain, your dad says. You know, like the little hop eyes that sneak in, or a blip bug. Oh, those kinds of aliens. You thought for sure they were talking about Sim. But hey, while they're asking, nope, we're keeping it a secret. Nope, just boring old humans. Your mom and dad nod and go back to their conversation. You sit with them a while and share the canteen. It's iced blep tea. You're not supposed to drink it because it makes you feel kind of buzzy, but it makes the rest of the afternoon fly by. Alright, let's do a little geoponics work. It is time to research xenobotany. Tending the animals gives animals and empathy. Okay, this would have been a good opportunity to pick up some empathy if we hadn't already maxed out our animal skill. Still, it is nice to have a place to work out empathy because I don't think we did before. But yeah, let's do xenobotany stuff. Back in the lab, you have all the right equipment to properly examine that radioactive plant you found. Maybe you can find a way to protect yourself from them so you don't need to drag a radiation-proof envirosuit with you every time you go to that part of the planet. What part of the planet? We found it in the garden. Radiation poisoning isn't the killer it used to be on Earth. With medbeds, you can flush out deadly doses of radiation in a few hours. It could still make you really sick, though, and high enough doses could kill you before you're even able to reach the medbed. How confident are you that you know how to protect yourself? I am not actually that great at engineering. I'm going to say not at all. I feel very uncertain. Good call. Maybe you can come back again later after collecting more samples. Oh, interesting. Okay. 5 extra kudos if the total equals the goal, but also I don't know that I care. This is good enough. We can make this a 5, but whatever. I'm fine. All right, that's got us mighty close to some thresholds. We'll do 1 more month real quick here of that, and then we'll head back out. But before I do, I just want to run around and see if anybody else has a dialogue bubble. My guess would be probably not, because nothing's really changing this month. And then obviously next month we'll be able to give gifts and stuff again. And I'm pleased that the flirt with Tange went well this time. It's nice that you actually have to approach people in a way that makes sense for them. You can't just fling yourself at them with the romance option. I appreciate there's a lot of thought put into a lot of the interaction models in this game. Anyway, research xenobotany. Your work often overlaps with Tangent's work in the biochemistry and genetics lab, so it's not uncommon for her to pop by and ask questions about what you're working on, or for you to ask her for help interpreting some test results. She's uncharacteristically animated whenever she gets to talk about science, almost like she's a whole different person. She even laughs sometimes. Don't you think it's so interesting how Vertumnant species resist being classified by any known taxonomy? She asks, peering into the root network you've sandwiched between pieces of clear glass. She stands up. It feels like everything is a little bit fungal, she says. Spores, fruiting bodies, mycelial networks, even in animals. Yeah, some animals here even photosynthesize. She nods excitedly. The division between plant, animal, and fungus is less strict here than it was on Earth. At the cellular level, many animal species have properties of plants and vice versa. She launches into an explanation of how high-energy bonds store energy and require a metal catalyst, like iron in human blood and chlorophyll in green earth plants, but how the different hues of Vertumnant plants must mean they use an entirely unknown elemental catalyst, possibly not even a metal at all. It's a little advanced for you, but Tanja's very excited about it. She stops and takes a breath, winded by her own monologue. Zounds, Samhain. If Vertumnant plants and animals share an elemental catalyst, and we found out what it is, we could learn so much about this planet. So I could show her a beautiful flower instead to try to flirt with her, but actually I think helping her advance her theory is a much better way of flirting. You show Tangent what you've been working on, all the samples and simulations, the results of scans and experiments. Incredible, Tangent says, going over your notes. We've been attempting to map the genomes of various samples in order to construct a phylogenetic tree, but we're at capacity already. Can I take this? Yeah, of course. Tangent smiles. Thank you, Samhain. This is more helpful than I can say. Chief Engineer Instance forwards you some kudos for sharing your research. +1 helped Tangent. That's good. I like to help Tangent. All right. What do we have here? We have no gems, which is a little awkward. I mean, this is fine, right? This is very functional. It's a very easy hand to play as well. All right, that's going to get us an organizing perk, and is it what I thought it was going to be? Yep, okay. That's what we thought. Although it's interesting that they're not all equip additional gear. It is possibly the case that the last one that's still locked does come from another level of organizing, but that means at least one of these levels is something else. And where am I at on biology? 95. So pretty curious about that. I mean, we'll probably have time to figure it out. People are standing around in different locations. All right, let's start doing gifts. Tange frowns as a unit of soldiers from the heliopause jog past her. An entire ship of thick-skulled, warmongering idiots, she sneers. What a relief. Surely all of our problems will go away if we simply fire lasers at them. Here, I brought you a yellow flower. Yeah, she likes yellow flowers. Where are we at with our relationship with her? 81, so we're really getting somewhere. I hope you find it useful. Not going to try that flirt again. Hey, kid. Doesn't say anything as I approach, and I do not have an egg for her. She doesn't like crystal clusters, right? We know that. She might like bobber fruit, because it is food. Cool, thanks. I guess it is my birthday this week. I kind of forgot. I also forgot. That's just good luck, really. You don't get anything because I don't like the whole situation. Buddy. Rex hasn't gotten used to life on the surface yet. Okay, we've seen this before. I got you a present. It's a log. Rex shoots you a shy smile. Nothing a dog likes more than a stick, right? Yeah. Yeah. What do you think about the new kids? Mars asks. Most of them are very, soldiery. I suppose that's okay if you like that sort of thing. Rex is a total hottie, though. And from what I hear, she makes a significant expression with her eyebrows, conveying something. Well, she continues. I just think I have a chance with him. Cool. I found something you might like. It's this flower. Yeah, I'm not gonna get in her way. She can go at that as much as she would like. Cal's still playing hacky sack. Hey, Cal. Okay, Cal, yeah, that's right. We just figured this out. Cal likes bobber fruit. He's starving. How did I know? Well, you're a boy who's going through puberty, so. You catch your parents muttering about the new governor and people from the Heliopause. Your mom seems to be upset. The word fascists catches your ear. This might be your chance to ask some of the burning questions you've had. Hey, is Governor Lum some kind of space cop? Your dad looks startled and tries to muster a friendly smile. You overheard us, eh, kiddo? Your mom gives him a warning sideways glance. Listen, Samhain. He hesitates and looks around nervously as if afraid you're being watched. You're just gonna have to trust us adults on this one. There are things you're still too young to understand. Yo, dude, I am not too young. Come on, level with me here. Your mom stiffens, but your dad motions to calm her. I thought the same about myself once, he says gravely. I was wrong. The Helios came here just like us, looking for a better life, he tells you. Some of them had other reasons too, but now that they're here, we have to learn how to work together. When your mother and I were young on Earth, we learned a hard lesson. He gives a grim smile. We learned a lot of hard lessons. One was that it's safer to be led by one dangerous person than be attacked by an army of them. He lets that sink in. Another was that sometimes when adults tell you not to worry, you should listen to them. Go on, enjoy your youth. He gestures toward the Heliopause. Go get to know some of those new kids. I'm sure you'll find they're a lot like you. Before you can say another word, they're called back to work. There's still so much to be done to rebuild the farms and geoponics greenhouses, and you can see people from the Helio helping your parents. Maybe they aren't all that bad. No, I'm mostly worried about Lum. And Vase, I guess. I'm realizing I didn't give a gift to Nomi. We should give her something. Give them something. It's so cool you guys have people who aren't boys or girls too, Nomi says, twisting a long piece of their hair around their finger. Mom and Dad told me that sometimes people on Earth didn't understand stuff like that, and your ship left Earth before us, so maybe it was even worse then. They give you a bright smile. But they were worried for nothing. Everything's so nice here. We haven't got any idea what your deal is. Crystal clusters, maybe? Seems like you would like a shiny. Nomi makes a sound of appreciation and holds the crystal up to the light. What? It makes rainbows. It's perfect. Thank you so much. Yep. It just seemed like the vibe, right? It seemed like the right thing. Okay. I think let's go back out now for this month. We're pretty close to maxing out biology. Maybe I should focus on that, but... Hey, Dis, I brought you a medicinal root. Getting pretty close to maxing out, right? Yeah. I'm very curious what will happen, if anything. So, survey the ridge. Perception and engineering points. Interesting. Well, yeah, let's go see. It is pretty wild looking out here. The only way to the resting ridges is by glider. Part vehicle, part kite, and all adrenaline. You land on the rocky, broken-up spine of the nearest ridge and nearly fall over when you look down at the plummeting slope into the basin below. You are a long way up. Dis and Utopia glide in beside you. Woohoo! Utopia exclaims. You handled that glider like a champ, Dis. You too, Samhain. She peers down over the slope of the ridge. A lot more exciting than the swamps, right? I want you two to stick together out there. It's dangerous in those ancient convergent domain ruins. convergent domain, ruins. You look around. The landscape is like nothing you've ever seen before. Dry, cracked soil gives way to steep cliffs, and what little vegetation here is brittle and sharp. You can feel the dry air wick away the moisture in your lips. Wait, what the heck is that? There's a glowing thingy on the ground, a strange device. What the heck is that cute little nose doing on your cute little face? What is that? You point it out. Utopia gives it a nudge with her foot. Beats me, she says. You unearth the object. It's pulsing with light and warm to the touch. Well, hold up, Utopia says. Don't go just picking things up, Samhain. It could be radioactive, you know? Utopia waves her hollow palm crystal over it, then checks her interface. Only a little, she concludes. And whatever it is, it looks old. Like thousands of years old. We've been digging up glowing gadgets all over this region, but got no idea what they're for. You hang on to that one. Maybe you'll figure it out. Oh, okay. And what is that stone structures in the distance? That doesn't quite match up grammatically. Well, there are buildings here, Utopia says. Traces of them anyway. Maybe 10, 20,000 years old? And we sure didn't put them there. Dis lights up at the prospect of doing alien archaeology. Now, we've checked them out, but not thoroughly. Mostly just trying to get a feel for who lived there and why they ain't here no more. And based on some glyphs, we've started calling them the Convergent Domain. Whoever they were, they built things to last, Utopia admires. You know, it ain't just arrowheads and cave paintings. There's real architecture. Machines, even. Wait, what? Tell me more. Well, I wish I had more to tell you, Utopia says. And most everything we found just poses new questions. The structures read more organic than anything, so does that mean their gene tech was super advanced? And as for this place, we think it was some kind of solar network for them, she says, squinting up into the two suns. And looking at it from above, you can see these big vines traveling up and down the ridges like power lines. And there's hardly any plant life elsewhere, like they soaked up all the energy and made it a desert. But what'd they use that energy for, she says. And if there was a civilization so big and so advanced on Vertumna, why can't we find more traces of it? Where are the cities? What were them thumpers for? And what happened to them all? She's right, that is a lot of questions. Maybe you can help find some answers. Oh, okay. And what is that crystal stuff way down below? Oh, those? Utopia says, pointing to a crystal formation so densely packed into the ravine that it looks like a sparkling river. More outcroppings of crystals decorate the slopes. Well, they're all over the place. You be careful with them. Not sure if they're animal, vegetable, or mineral. She points off into the distance. There's a big island of them over there, like a glacier. Covers the whole damn place. Might be related to the Convergent Domain, but we ain't sure yet. Oh, okay. So anyway, those ruins are the main thing we need you to survey while you're out here, Utopia says. But keep an eye out for anything else weird. Utopia claps the dust off her hands. Well, my job here is done. You're all set, kid. Try not to fall off a cliff. Dis jumps back on his glider too. As usual, he's going to scout on ahead and catch up with you later. Okay, so let's start by looting the place as thoroughly as possible, and then we'll actually do challenges. I do like glittering crystal clusters an awful lot as an actual consumable. So pretty happy to have a place that's going to be plentiful with those. I am curious if we're going to meet any new wildlife out here. It doesn't seem like a place where there'd be a lot of animals. Just, you know, given how dry it is. Okay, so this is where that loops back. We probably will be a lot less good at the challenges here, given that some of them are going to be environmental. Okay, the strange device is apparently not a one-off thing. I mean, I guess she said they've been digging stuff up all over the place, but... Hey, Sim. You're sitting on a hilltop, eating a sandwich, when Sim strolls casually out of the jungle the bushes barely stirring as he brushes past. He sits down close to you, crossing his elegant legs beneath him on the bare ground. He watches you intently without saying a word. I'm going to keep eating. He watches you eat. He looks like he's choosing his words carefully, considering what to say. Wow, we gained a lot of relationship with him. Finally, he breaks the silence. Is eating this food pleasurable? It's just a zucchini sandwich. His brow furrows. What is zucchini? It's an edible plant from Earth. You explain to Sim that zucchini is boring, but about the only thing that grows well here. And the bread is made of grain that grows in geoponics, which is fed through a grinder to make flour, and then mixed with yeast and salt and baked in an oven. Sim is riveted. What else? There's mayonnaise? Sim mouths the word mayonnaise silently. What is that made of? Fortunately, I have the biology necessary to know that. It's oil and water emulsified by soy protein. You explain that it would normally be made with eggs instead of soy protein, but the decision was made long before you were born that the colony would rely more on plant-based proteins to avoid the ecological burden of caring for domestic animals on board the Stratospheric. Sim nods intently. And why 2 pieces of bread instead of 1? Why does the bread go on the outside? Well, that's because... Wait, why do you care? Well, it's just that you humans are so fascinating, Sim blurts out. He blinks and straightens his shoulders. It's just that my people conceptualize time on a quite different scale than humans do. So we're rather boring. Or, no, predictable is more the correct word. It lends itself to a far lesser degree of chaos. He smiles. Humans, though. Now you are a rather chaotic species, aren't you? In only one short generation, you completely reinvented your society to adjust to life on another planet. Novelty is something of a novelty in a stable system such as this. He picks at the frayed hem of his clothing. Why, even this is new. I have no need to cover my body for protection, and certainly feel no social or moral obligation to. Sim extends his arm, preening. How did I do? I'm absolutely going to attempt to flirt with him. I have no idea what the outcome of this will be. Do you have anything that needs covering? Sim blinks rapidly and smiles. Well, that is an interesting phrasing. Regardless of what is under my clothing, the phrasing of your question implies that I would feel a need to cover it. And the answer to that question is no. I do not feel I need to cover anything on my body. He folds his hands in his lap. Perhaps it is not the answer you crave, but it is the one you deserve, for the time being. I have no idea if that's the answer I craved or not. You have a million questions for Sim. How does he speak your language? Where did he get his clothes? How did he know your name? Sim only holds up his hand with a wistful smile. I would answer your questions if I could. I'm afraid, however, that it is simply not the time. What is your earth saying? The trees have ears? He rises to his feet, not bothering to dust himself off. I like the feel of those words in my mouth. Your language is so beautifully complex. This is flirting. He's definitely flirting. And we got the flirty... yes, right? Yes. Okay, still only 40, but I bet the next time we meet him, it'll be 60. Oh yeah, what else did we learn? He is he is dead center between rebellion and loyalty. Alien. He's quite alien, on a scale from human to alien. You watch Sim walk down the hill and disappear into the trees, as if he had never been here at all. Not even the grass is bent in the place he sat. I wonder if he's like a projection of the planet into our minds or something? You're walking through the wilderness when Sim steps out directly in front of you. Don't go this way, he advises you. Just trust me, I brought you something. Do you want this? This is what I thought. He's going to like everything, probably. Sim examines the device for a moment, then hands it back to you. I think you had better hold on to this, Samhain. You may need it later. It's kind of the end of a long day here. My throat is definitely getting a little scratchy. I apologize if that is degrading the quality of my performance. Well, we're going to check in this in just a moment. He will be the first thing we attend to after we get all the loot. Where is the yellow exclamation point? That's also a thing that would be really nice to know before we start doing things. Okay, a thumper. That's interesting. God, there is so much ground to cover on this one. Although a lot of it is completely empty. That's more of a negative than anything, I think. Okay, so there's our yellow exclamation point. So much running. Okay, I'm pretty confident we've looted everything now. Let's go back and see what Dis is up to. We're getting pretty close to maxing out that friendship meter. Where is he's up here, right? Yes. Dis is an entirely different person when he's outside the colony walls. Without people constantly trying to correct his asocial behavior, it's like he's blossomed into somebody who's actually confident. The more time you spend with him out here, the more glimpses you catch of the real Dis. Bet you can't do this, he says, jumping off a huge boulder and doing a cool roll at the end. Wait, no. Bet you can't do it with your eyes closed. I can. You and Dis cavort around, daring each other to do more and more dangerous things. Dis isn't scared of anything. You think you see something up on one of the plateaus above you. The cliffside is covered in convenient vines. I'm gonna dare Dis to climb up there. Dis scrambles up the cliff, no problem. He turns around at the top. Now your turn. Well, you dared him, so you gotta follow through. The vines are slippery and dangerous, and some of them are even alive and wriggle when you grab them. You lose your grip right at the top, and you slip and start to fall. But Dis grabs you. Got you, Dis exclaims, pulling you over the ledge. Your heart is thumping, and you're all sweaty from fear. But you did it. Dis looks so calm and collected, even though he just climbed the same treacherous wall and had to save you from a long fall. Why doesn't he ever seem scared? The plateau is empty, but it provides a great view to look out over the resting ridges. You and Dis take a break and watch the shadows creep across the dusty, craggy landscape. This is the life, Dis says. No school, no gossip, no bullies, no one telling me what to do or what to think. You know, actually, this makes a ton of sense for this to be his augment. I feel so silly for not having realized. He props his elbow up on his knee and squints into the suns. Even with my augmentation, in the colony I always feel like such a coward. But maybe the problem isn't me. It's everyone else, you know? I'm not scared of any of the usual stuff. Monsters, getting hurt, even dying. Like, who cares? But humans keep finding ways to control people with fear. Well, they can't control me. This is a weird way to phrase what is essentially like, daring him to do stuff is a little silly because he's not afraid. I do think that fear keeps us safe is this an argument that I want to have with him about whether or not, like, there is a downside to his augment? I'm just gonna say this. I think he's probably pretty pleased with his thing, and honestly, I just want to get along with him. You might not be alive right now if it wasn't for his fearlessness and fast thinking. It wasn't that long a fall, he says, but you can tell he's a little pleased you understand too. Okay, that did in fact get us to 100 relationship with him, so we'll see if something happens when we get back to town. And then at this point, I think we should probably just take on some events and make sure we finish up with the yellow one. I want to work with the thumper first, for sure. You find your way blocked by a massive wall. No, a hollow pillar, knocked over and lying on its side in the sand. It's absolutely massive. It stretches to your left and right at least a kilometer in each direction, though at some points it's crumbled enough that you could likely scale over it. Well, let's have a look. Where am I at on engineering? 12? Okay. It is nice to start with the extra 5 from the Sun Medallion too. That is very helpful. So I'm assuming we don't get the bonus for this if we use the multicolored card. That's fine. I think that's a pretty decent start. And then +2 to cards with gems, so we can go like 2, 3, 4, and then connect this with the yellow 4. Still 36 to find. Oh, we're getting the 5 from the Sun Medallion on each step, which is actually really powerful. Okay. This will be a 4 when we put it down. That's not bad, right? And then we can just take 5 stress, I think. And we have a lot of like logs and stuff, but the thing is, like, if I turn this into a 7, it's actually not going to increase our score any because we're gonna drop the 2 of a kind points. Yeah, I'm just gonna take the 5 stress. It's fine. Hooray, 1 entire engineering. Okay, plus another one, I think. This looks giddy as you follow the pillar to its base, a large pyramid almost entirely lost under the sand. You brush away some of the sand and find that the pyramid is inscribed on all sides with pictures of, well, wormholes, you think. The pillar must have once stretched up into the sky. Maybe it was some kind of observatory, or sacred building, or just a monument to the wormhole. Mysterious. Yeah, that seems actually very significant. So I don't think we've seen any circles that have anything in them, right? Aside from the one that we just looked at. You investigate a weird squeaking noise, eventually following it to its source. An undulating swarm of sleek creatures are gathered on the cliff above you. You watch as they throw their tiny bodies off the edge, plummeting past you and out of sight. They scream and screech in excitement. Okay, weird. If we get close enough to them to investigate, we can gain some raining bounce weasels. Yeah, let's go check it out. You pick your way down the slope, finding a second herd of miraculously unharmed weasels at the bottom. As you watch them, one lands on your head and, squeaking indignantly, goes to join the rest of its kin. Ow. Okay, I mean, that's fine. You hear the flapping of wings and look up. A whole colony of pink and orange Dorb's moth clings to the rock overhead, nearly camouflaged. As the squealing of the weasels above reaches a fever pitch, the Dorb's moth restlessly take off from the cliff and flutter around. You watch as one of the little creatures pitches off the edge of the cliff and lands square on the Dorb's moth's back, sending them both plummeting to the bottom. As the large moth crashes fatally into the ground, The weasel curls its body and bounces harmlessly away, then scurries back to feed on its prey. Ooh, bounce weasels. What a what a method of hunting. You record the screeching on your hollow palm. What a noise. So where are we at? We're at 84. We should be able to handle one more normal one. A beautiful little locust lands on your arm. It calmly washes its face with its forearms and vibrates its wings, like it's cooling off. Aw, the poor little guy's all alone. I don't know why befriending it is a perception challenge rather than an animals challenge, but it doesn't super matter. So like this 5, 6, 7 seems like a pretty solid start. And then we definitely want to mess with pairs. Would it be worth bobber fruiting? If we don't bobber fruit, we're going to have like 35 left. I'm going to go ahead and do this because it makes this hand so much more powerful. And now this is like completely trivial to complete. Would you believe 4s and 6s? What if, right? You look it up on your hollow palm. It's a mask wing, named because when it's frightened, it opens its wings all the way and flips them forward, making it look like a grimacing manticore. Scary. A lot of creatures just imitate manticores when they are threatened. But even scarier is how much it can eat. They usually eat leafy plant matter, but they're not above eating fabric, wood, hair, or even skin. They swarm in dust and in hot places like the ridges. You see something out of the corner of your eye and look up from your new friend. Oh. In the distance, you see a haze above the ground. It's the locusts. Each one bigger than your fist. These insectoids can eat their weight in under an hour. There are millions of them out there, and they'll be here soon. Your buddy takes off to join its friends, and you gotta go. You make it to your glider in time, thankfully. You come back to this place later in the week. What foliage there had been is now stripped bare. The only things still standing are the crystals, glinting in the sunlight. Okay, yep, time to check out. Expeditions has been collecting energy readings from this area, tracing the invisible ley lines of power like the one from the thumper that brought you here in the first place. They've pointed you to this cave, a nexus of power at the convergence of many ley lines. You can feel the energy is different here, like a barely perceivable hum that prickles up the back of your neck, like something is watching you. It's likely this was some sort of important place for the convergent domain, Utopia says, leaning on her glider. I've sent teams through, but it gets mighty tight in there. I'm hoping you and Dis might have better luck wiggling in there, she continues. Might be the caves inside open up again, and if they do, take plenty of readings and report back to me. Dis is vibrating beside you on nearly the same frequency as the weird power fluctuations. This is the real deal, he whispers, mostly to himself. It's hard to shake the feeling of being watched. In fact, you're sure... Oh, yes, of course, there he is. You can see Sim's mysterious form up there, watching you from a nearby ridge. He holds up his hand in greeting when he sees you looking. Utopia nods and leaves you to it. What's the plan? I'm going to ask Sim what's up first. You ensure that Utopia is good and gone before you and Dis kick up your gliders and talk to Sim. He looks delighted when you land beside him. You're getting warmer, he sing-songs. Hot, very hot. He rests his weight on his hands and kicks his feet over the ledge. I'm not supposed to tell you anything, he confides. But it's just so interesting to watch you figure things out. Humans, so curious and so smart. Dis stammers and turns red. Looks like you're not getting anything out of Sim, though. You grumble and glide back to the cave entrance. Oh, I think Dis is a little... Okay, all right. I would step respectfully aside. to allow Dis to pursue that. That seems fine to me. Let's make sure we prep our equipment. This time you get headlamps and a little recording drone with a floodlight attachment. A tiny buzzing flying thing that circles around your heads and sometimes illuminates what you want to look at. It's intelligent, which just means it won't do what you do. It won't just do what you want. Dis bats at it in annoyance. Utopia's also left you an anti-grav belt with a warning to practice extreme caution while spelunking down there. They make you lighter so you can climb more easily and won't hurt yourself as much if you fall. So I guess let's enter the cave. It's never going to get any easier than this. The narrow entrance leads to a bigger room that animals have clearly used as a den. It's enormous, with glowing mushrooms on the walls and piles of bones in some crevices. In some places, the walls are made of iridescent convergent domain obsidian, like this was once a great hall millennia ago. You can feel a cool breeze coming from somewhere, but it'll be tricky to find in the dark, or at least it would be if I didn't have dark vision. Okay. So we don't have our extra bonus to pairs. I guess just like roll the 667. Well, should we save the 7 because it has a gem on it? I'm gonna mushwood log this up to a 6. All right. This is also a 6. Here we have a 7. Here we have an 8. That's fine. Yeah, I'm going to take that. So just 40 more to generate. This will be a 5 if I don't play any other blue cards or if I turn my blue cards yellow. Maybe we should redraw this hand, though. So what, these are both 4s right now. I'm going to redraw this hand. Okay. It's not like amazing. So 5 for helping an animal. Float cow becomes a 6. This is also a 6. And then we just get the full straight, and that gets us where we're going. We could mess with this, but I don't really see a point. Try to hit the bonus overflow value, but it's just going to get us more points of a stat we don't need. You find the source of the breeze by tossing some fine sand into the air and watching which way the dust blows. It is a very tight crack. Good thing you and Dis are so small. You squeeze through and have to shimmy along on your bellies for about 10 meters, pushing your gear ahead of you. It's uncomfortable, but Dis's excitement draws you on. Past the crack, there are fewer signs of animals. The walls are smooth, grown obsidian, which has a kind of melted rainbow oil slick look. There are deeply carved glyphs on the walls at various intersections, like room designations, or street names, you wonder? And other kinds of basins, alcoves grown into the rock, full of odd protrusion, all ancient and worn and inexplicable now. What a weird, that's not a good sentence structure. It feels homey. You come to realize the convergent domain must have lived underground. That's why there are so few ruins on the surface. As you follow the cave complex down, it's clear this used to be a well-traveled path. The corridors branching off to other places are now blocked off, as if a big earthquake had rattled this whole area. Only this one main path is still clear. It's too convenient to be a coincidence. The floor of the cave sloped down like a slide, and it's quite slippery, but I got all this perception, so I'm going to pay attention to my footing. You follow the cave system down, all the way to what must be the bottom of the cliffs. You have to climb down a 3-story wall in the last section, and are grateful to your anti-grav belt for making it easier. You're still tired, though. You can see dim light below. Daylight? You emerge into a hidden valley, totally surrounded by tall cliffs. Did you just come down all that way? You're surrounded by the ruins of convergent domain buildings, in much better condition than the windswept ones on the surface. It's perfectly still here, and as quiet as space itself. What was this? Dis whispers reverentially. Some sort of converger facility? And it feels so familiar. You remember this place from your dreams, and feel a throbbing sense of importance that is a bit unnerving. Something momentous happened to you here, or will happen to you someday. You poke around a little, then call Utopia and give her your coordinates. She swings down on her glider, with extra ones for you and Dis tethered behind it. You're happy you won't have to climb all the way back up. She whistles. Great find, kids. This place didn't show up on any of our aerial scans. It took me a while to find a route in. You look bushed, she says. I'll stick around to get some readings. You head on back to the depot and get some rest. Don't worry, we aren't going to push on without you. Okay, yeah, I feel like that was very productive. Also, 2 points of engineering. Oh, it's Vertumnalia. The Vertumnalia Festival is a welcome day of normalcy in an otherwise chaotic year. Despite some lingering rivalry between the two factions, Vertumnalia is a chance for the Helios and the Stratos to come together and appreciate the bounty of that planet. At least, that's what the adults say. As Governor Lum takes the stage to address the colony, you can't help but notice the crowd has segregated itself according to their ship of origin. Rex shoots you a wave from over on the Strato side, and Nomi makes a silly face. Vase is surrounded by other young soldiers, all looking sharp in their heliopause uniforms. With Dis standing beside you, you wonder if the two ships will ever feel like one colony. A fanfare plays over the square's announcement system. Lum's honor guard do a complex drill with their drone rifles. Greetings, people of Vertumna, Lum says, his voice ringing out over the square. We may be far from our beautiful Earth, but we can still celebrate and be thankful for what we have here. We've worked hard to save this beleaguered little colony from the brink of destruction, and should be proud of our work. The Helios cheer. Your side of the square is more quiet. Now, I know some of you have been asking, Lum, how are you going to do it all by yourself? How are you going to run the colony, solve everyone's problems, turn this planet into a paradise, and look this good? Lum strikes a pose to a smattering of polite applause. Well, I have the answer for you, he continues. The old council made a lot of bad choices, like illegally leaving Earth, but I believe in second chances. So I've appointed the original department heads to my own council, Lum's Council 2.0. Better not disappoint me, he laughs and makes finger guns at the department heads at the foot of his podium. Stay on your toes, Stratos. I also want to promise everyone here today that we're going to make Vertumna safe for humans, Lum says. The next time those bastard Xenos attack, we're going to blow them to so many little pieces there won't be enough left to wipe off our boots. We've already got the defenses, he says, gesturing broadly to the new, taller, thicker walls. And we're building homes for everyone, homes where people can raise children again, knowing that our military men and women are keeping us safe. Big cheers from both sides this time. Some of the colonists around you even have tears in their eyes, especially those who lost family in the last attack. Lum goes on for a while, lionizing the Heliopause's military strength and casting subtle digs at your failed colony experiment. Finally, the crowd disperses to set up the square for the afternoon festivities, some traditional and some new. At the tables, Aunt Anne and the kids are setting out a spread for dinner. There's an unimaginable amount of food, thanks to the Heliopause's huge ration surplus, and the piles upon piles of xenomeat from the hunting parties, for those who can stomach it. Anne is all smiles, clearly making an effort to move on, as Lum mandated, despite still mourning her lost son, Calm. But not even the festive atmosphere can force a smile onto Nem's face. I wonder, like, I don't know that I think that she thinks that the Helio people are jerks. I think of the lot of us, she is the person who is most likely to be in favor of their attitudes, right? I'm gonna say, come on, it's party time. Let's try to pull her out of her funk, and she'll tell us what's wrong. You encouraged Nem not to dwell in the past. She did not like that. Things are looking up. Now's the time to bond with our new colonists and pave the way for a bright future. Nem just stares at the tureen of stew in her arms. Then she sets it down, wipes her eyes, and walks away. I mean, this was always gonna be more difficult for her than it is for everybody else, because the part of this that she was into was run by Calm, and I don't know that there was a lot we could really do about that. Oh, the only physical option needs combat now. Interesting. The chime sounds to announce that the square is set up for the annual competitions. What do you choose this year? I guess I'll try a bake-off? We could ditch the event. I'm sure Dis is somewhere around here. I'm going to try the bake-off. The bake-off is a new challenge this year in celebration of the great surplus of food. Today's theme is chili, spicy bean stew. Not pixie beans, though. Cal adapts a gourmet earth dish with alien ingredients. I have no idea how to cook stuff. Let's go. We have to get a 92. It's pretty harsh. Wait, why did I think that? Oh, because this is +2 to cards with gems. Shoot. Well, I mean, there we go. I'll just give that the +1. Still have a lot of ground to put together here. Do I want to save the harvesting mushwood? I guess one thing we could do is like, once again, bobber fruit. Yeah, that's not terrible. Okay, 40 is tough. 40 is tough. So we could play this over here. Obviously, like, splitting up the colors is a little bit of a bummer. Will they let me do the... Okay, I can't do the push through. I mean, we could fix this. I guess it's a little awkward to fix, I suppose. Like, this works here because of the red. And then, like, if I just put down a 4 over there, it is sufficient, actually. Yeah, I think I'm just going to take that. We'll get 10 extra kudos. You make a chili that is so perfectly balanced, one of the judges cries. And not just from the spice level. Wow. A multicolored 8 is pretty good. After the festivities, the mood in the colony is a lot lighter. You see people smiling easier, and often see mixed groups of Helios and Stratos socializing together. Well, that's good. I don't trust the whole military thing. Like, I definitely worry that there's going to be sectarian violence. But this is good. The only person I really have a direct problem with is Lum. And again, maybe Vase. It feels a little unfair because he's like a kid. Oh, Cal's up to something. He probably has something to say about the cooking competition. I guess I probably ought to stop, though, huh? Yeah, all right. That's for the best. I want to keep playing because, like, this game is very good and very compelling. But I probably should not drive myself to talk anymore today. This would be a good time for me to go relax. That's going to be it for us for today. Thank you all so much for watching. when you come back next time, we're going to keep trying to get along with our new neighbors, keep exploring the great wild world of Vertumna and running into Sim everywhere we can, and also keep maybe focusing our eyes just the littlest bit on romance. And we'll see you then.